Welcome to Warm Up Exercises. This video was produced to help you warm up before you start to work out. I've left a certain amount of time between each exercise so you can actually use this video to work out too. Enjoy. Hi, my name is Joel Vexler, and I participated in Train to Hunt for a few years. And as I've gotten older, I found that I need to warm up more. So what I did was I stole, I borrowed, I reinvented a whole bunch of different yoga poses, core exercises to help me warm up sufficiently so when I start doing my weightlifting and aerobics and everything, other types of exercises, it helps prevent injuries. This is totally different from what I normally do it. Usually it's 4 a.m. in the morning, my house is pitch dark, I'm quiet, those type of things. In this video, you never know. A dog could come across, one of my dogs, one of our cats. Who knows what's going to happen. The poses and the core exercises I do will not be the full length because I don't think you want to watch a full length of what I do. More of the specific exercises that I do for a certain amount of time. I usually try to hold each pose or exercise for about a minute. In this video, again, they're going to be substantially shorter so you can get the idea. I hope you enjoy this. This is the workout I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The first exercise I start with is a pelvic tilt. To do a pelvic tilt, what you want to do is slowly rock your pelvis forward while your knees are bent and arch your back. And then bring your pelvis back. You want to do this slowly though. This is a slow stretch. I then bring my knees as high up on my chest as I can, pulling them slowly to my chest to work on my hamstrings and my glutes. Seeing those are, especially in guys, hamstrings are one of the tightest muscles on guys. Most guys have hamstrings that are way too tight, which again results in calf problems and plantar fasciitis. Hold these pulls for as long as you feel comfortable. I really enjoy this exercise because it always feels good. Because I have a sore low back from all the years of doing everything in my life wrong, the side to sides really stretch out my lower back. They get my obliques, and they really, really, again, feel good for an old man. Okay, I really enjoy doing these, and again, it makes everything so much looser. The next exercise I like to do are just forward rolls, and they just feel good. I don't know if they really even accomplish anything, but gosh, they feel good. It's like, again, having a roller on your back. And it kind of gets me set up for my first core exercise. Now, leg extension sits, I like to do these in 30-second intervals. So I usually start off with, again, the beginning of when I start doing this warm up, a 30-second one. As I progress over time, I stretch it out in a minute, maybe even a minute and a half. But it's a really good start to a core exercise. Um, from my years in my youth, when I used to do a little bit of karate, Taekwondo specifically, I learned the deep groin stretch. And the deep groin stretch seems to help me loosen up so I can do a shallow groin stretch and push my knees as far as I can without obviously hurting my pelvis to the ground. Again, for guys, this is one of the most commonly skipped stretches. Make sure you do it. As a track coach for 15 years, I can't say enough about quad and hamstring stretches. This also can get your calves. Um, in guys, especially, quads and hamstrings are usually very tight, especially hamstrings. I don't think you can do enough of these. There's been
certain studies that saying, you shouldn't bend your knees when you do these, and there's better ways to do it. But I've just been doing this since I was like 15 years old. So I don't know any other way to do it. This next stretch, the cat stretch or the camel, again, upper back, lower back, allows you to get in between your shoulder blades. Again, slow movements. Do not hurry on some of these. Just take your time, work it through. The pointer pose, again, is something of more of a core exercise because you are tightening your abdominals to be able to do this. Obviously, my form on my left leg needs a little bit of work there. Uh, Again, that's my bad knee. So, what I should have done is picked up my leg. And as you can see, as I switch to my other leg, and again, you can do different stretches in between these wherever you feel tight. I believe in my right leg, I lifted a heck of a lot higher, which is a little, yeah, there you go, a lot better form. And you can hold these as long as you like, whatever you feel comfortable with. Again, I usually tell people, do I work with it? Start with 15 seconds. Don't start with a large amount and work your way up to a large amount because, again, this is probably all new to your body. If you are archer, you need to stretch your shoulders. There's no other way around it. There's lots of great shoulder stretches to do. I believe this is called the child's pose. I'm not really sure, but it works really well for me. It allows me to, I wouldn't say hyperextend my shoulders, but at least extend my shoulders. And again, it allows me to move into the next position. And the next stretch would be a back extension. And again, because I'm older, a lot of physical labor in my life, I love anything to do with my back. You can't tell from my face, but it really feels good. Again, I'm moving around so you can see the positions. Normally I wouldn't do this. Superman's again is another core exercise. Build up back strength, build up hamstring strength. Uh, I recommend everybody do Supermans. Whether you can hold it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and keep working onto that. Because the Supermans have a tendency to lead to the next one, which would be the opposite of Supermans. When I was a kid, we called them bananas, but now that I'm adult, we're going to call them boats. For the boat core move, again, it's just opposite of a Superman. So you're working your shoulders, your upper body, you're working obviously your quads and your hamstrings. And I like to do what I call static stretching because if you're holding the pose, you're actually stretching your muscles as you do them. While you're down there, again, go all the way back for a back extension. Again, what I find is as you get all the way back, it helps stretch your back out to make it feel just a little bit better. Um, I've always had a problem with calves because I've always had a problem with hamstrings. So I enjoy stretching my calves. I have a tendency to do the downward facing dog, and then what I eventually do is I lift a left leg and then a right leg and then put both legs back together. By isolating each calf, it seems to really, really help the leg that's down. And it also brings a little bit of a core exercise in on your abdominal muscles. Before attempting a pike push-up, make sure you're in the proper position. And I like doing pike push-ups because they warm up my shoulders. It's a great exercise to really get the shoulders moving, and they're not really that hard. They're not like a handstand push-up where you're doing all your weight. They're more of just a warm up for your shoulders. Then I move into the planks. I really like planks. There's a lot of negativity with planks of how they're boring and they don't do a lot. Again, I like them as a core exercise to warm my muscles up. I find they warm up my legs, my shoulder, and definitely my external obliques. Um, I try to arch a little bit. I don't know if that's the proper method of doing a side plank, but I'm really concentrating on contracting the side that is down. And of course, then we have our front plank, which after a while just get to be such a joke. They're so easy to do. You don't have a problem doing them at all. I just like doing them because they help me stretch out my calves again. And again, a lot of times I'll just do a front plank for a short amount of time, and then it's just mainly a move to get me to the other side. Obviously, if this wasn't a video, I wouldn't go all the way back around. I would just switch to the other side. And again, I try to arch a little bit, and sometimes I feel my side to see, how much am I contracting it. When I'm doing planks, I really try to concentrate again on what muscles I'm contracting and my breathing. How am I breathing? My next stretch has been called the world's greatest stretch by many people. It's just your typical hamstring stretch. When you do a hamstring stretch, it's very important to keep the leg you're stretching, your knee and your leg at about a 90-degree bend. You don't want to go way out there, and you want to push down. Now, you don't want to push down so you're hurting yourself. You want to push down just enough so you definitely feel it. And again, you can see my knee's about a 90 degree. And again, you push straight down. I know people that it's unbelievable how far they can get by stretching out their back leg or their trail leg. I just don't know how much of a benefit that is. You want to stretch as much as you can to where it's comfortable for you, and you're basically have it promoting a stretch. Of all the stretches that took me the longest to be able to do, this would be it. Again, guys have a tendency to have tight hamstrings, so toe touches basically hit your back, they hit your hamstrings, they can hit your quads, and again, you can pull down using your arms behind your calves. And again, it's a great, great stretch. I would never start with these. Always when you're pretty warm up. Sometimes I just kind of do I actually hold my toes and, arch my back and pull things around. Because I do a lot of archery, I can't stress enough how important it is to do those shoulder workouts just to warm up your shoulder. Remember, this whole stretching routine is to warm you up so you're ready to work out. Again, I've heard so many discussions on shoulder exercises over the years as far as don't go behind your back, go behind your back. Your shoulder girdle is without a doubt your weakest girdle, so you got to be careful on that. Side to side, again, when you get through with that, those just again feel good. I always just kind of throw different stretches in when I'm in between a stretch or a movement. Sitting or praying squats, again, it's more of a strength move for a core exercise. Start on different amount of times, 15 seconds. I usually like to build up to about a minute. And I have a tendency to close my eyes and just try to breathe through the exercise. I don't really do a lot while I'm doing this exercise. I try to blank my mind and just breathe. When you go up, I like to stretch out again with toe touches. Again, as I get closer to the end of my exercise, I'm feeling more and more limber. All right, basically reach for the sky, we used to call them. I believe it's called a mountain pose. Again, I combine those with toe touches so I can stretch out from bottom to top. And basically what you're doing is a hyperextension of your back to a small amount. And it helps with balance. The next move I think is called a tree pose. I just try to do it for balance. As I got older, I'm starting to develop less and less balance, and my coordination isn't as good as it used to be. So I figure, uh, on this video, I think I held it for 15 to 30 seconds. A build up. I did exceptionally well when I was doing it this time. A lot of times I look like a tree. I'm wobbling back and forth. It's way easier to do with the light on, focusing on an object in front of you than when I normally do this when it's pitch black. I usually end my routine with 10 to 20 push-ups to make sure I'm again getting my shoulder blades a workout and warming up my chest, because you don't want to go into a weightlifting routine not being able to have your whole upper body warmed up, whether you're going to do upper body, lower body, a combination of upper body, but it really helps being warmed up all the way.
Okay. So now that I'm semi warmed up, I go into a little bit more of core exercises, especially my abdominal core workout. Okay. And again, you can do these for as long as you want. Again, I'm just going to give a quick demonstration as I go through.
The first exercise I start with are called figure eights. Do not do these if you have lots of lower back pain. Uh, I also like all the stretches I did before to warm up my lower back. You can do these slow, you can do these fast. The key thing with figure eights is you just kind of want to keep moving. It's not an exercise where you hit a point and you stop, and you hit a point and you stop. Then I move on to what we used to call windshield wipers, and I think they're called side to sides now. Great exercise for your obliques. Again, you want to stop at the end, and rotate. And you want to tighten your obliques as each side of your obliques as you're moving to the left or to the right. I think I'm trying to do about 15 on each one of these exercises. So not a lot, but just enough to, to get me pretty warmed up. And the more of these core as you go through the routine, obviously you're going to get tired. The one I looked at dorky ass without a doubt is doing starfish. Starfish, the whole idea is you want to bring your arms first, then your legs. If you can bring them both at the same time, you have incredible balance, which I don't have. And again, the idea is you are coming up in a coordinated movement and going down in a coordinated movement, not, spastic up and then flopping down. Again, I think I went about 15 of these, and always concentrate on your breathing when you're doing these core exercise. This routine really it wasn't that hard for me. I'm kind of out of shape right now, and without a doubt, the camera adds 10 pounds. So it's hunting season. What can I say? I spend my time hunting, not working out. You can see I'm getting a little tired towards the end of these, and then I switch right into the next one. Again, I don't know what to call these because I used to call them pump planks. I just put the knee in there just for fun to call it something different. But I can see my butt's a little bit high on these. I should be a little flatter. But if you want to get tired, you want to tire yourself out pretty quick, this is the way to do it, without a doubt. You will be tired on these. While you're doing these, I think sometimes in some areas they're called mountain climbers. But mountain climbers have a tendency, I think, to look a little bit different. Basically, we used to call this kind of a bicycle. Again, the kids nowadays call these, elbow to knee. There's my favorite training partner. You never know who's going to show up. He's my boy. That's my retired hunting dog Bodie. Very camera shy, except for today. I like to try to keep my movements where I go from one exercise to the next exercise. My problem with V-ups is my legs have a tendency to drop. So if they do, just grab them, pull them back, and try to hold them up top. Because, you know, as we get weaker or tired, our legs drop. These used to be called, excuse me, these used to be called around the worlds. Now they're rotations. In your rotation, you want to make sure you left shoulder blade, right shoulder blade, and then all obliques and rectus abdominis. And again, you want to go to the left, and then when you've done so many, you want to go to the right. These are a good warm down exercise because they're really not that hard, but it really kind of loosens the spine up a little bit, and again hits some muscles that again you normally don't hit that much. You can make all these exercises harder by having a kettlebell or basically a medicine ball, and it makes the world of difference when you're doing something like this by adding between 5, 10, 15 pounds. There's my co-star again. I always like stretching my neck. Over the years, I've heard all sorts of things. Don't hyperextend your neck, hyperextend your neck. I just try not to hyperextend my neck. I try to keep all the stretches forward, to the left, to the right. This is without a doubt, in my mind, the best shoulder stretch there is.
And that concludes my warm-up. Now I'm pretty warmed up and I'm kind of ready to start my weightlifting routine. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will eventually put up my Tuesday, Thursday warm-up routine because you got to vary it just a little bit, otherwise you just get bored. All right, have a good day.